Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, City of Las Vegas Communications Director David Riggleman. Another luxury apartment complex opens in Symphony Park, and kids at the Doolittle Community Center have a brand new flag football uniform to show off, thanks to the Las Vegas Raiders. Here to discuss these topics and much more is the councilman who represents Ward 5. You know who it is, Mr. Cedric Crear. Welcome back.
Hello, Mr. Riggleman.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. We are just busy. We are rocking and rolling.
I know.
Beautiful
tons
time
going
of year.
on.
Tons going on. Beautiful time of year in Las Vegas. So just excited. I'm always very excited because to come on this show because we talk about all the things that we've done.
Exactly.
And it's just really interesting to look back on it over the last 6 weeks and all the things we've been doing. And it's just good to sit back and recap it. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And we're going to do exactly that today. So first of all, for those of you not exactly sure where Ward 5 is located, well, have no fear. We're going to show you right here on this map. It's right in the center of it all, right there where the big 5 is. That is Ward 5, and it encompasses our downtown and really extends all the way out into the northwest. So it's a very diverse ward geographically, especially.
It is. Yeah, half of downtown, it goes all the way to the historic west side. It goes out north to Gowan, Cheyenne, big box store, Lake Mead and Rainbow, and then come back downtown with Symphony Park and World Market Center. So it's a wide variety. And I'm blessed to serve as a councilman for all of Ward 5.
Well, speaking of Symphony Park, we're going to start there. You had some amazing ribbon cuttings since you've been on the show last time around. And the first that we're going to talk about is the Auric project on Symphony Park. Symphony Park has got the Smith Center, it's got the Ruvo Center.
Yeah.
Now you can live there too.
You can. We've had Park Haven open up a few months ago. Now Auric is open with the Southern Land Company. They built a beautiful facility. Tim Downey, who's the CEO of that company, is a great person who really believes in building high quality products. They do products all over the country. And then they also do a lot to give back into the community. So Auric is great. The mayor is there. A lot of other dignitaries are there. And it's just great to have that density of people into downtown. It's one of those things where you master plan it and you build it and they will come. Well, you know what? The master plan it built it and they have come. And occupancies are moving forward. If you're thinking about moving to downtown Las Vegas, if you're thinking about Symphony Park, I urge you to go see them soon, because they're going to be at 100% capacity.
And those are apartments, Councilman.
They are apartments. Yep, and right next door. And then also Southern Land has won the award to build across the street for another high-rise project that's taking place. So they are a great builder. We're very happy to have them. And as you can see, they build beautiful products.
Yeah, that's great. And I was reading up on that. The rent is very affordable there.
Yeah. And you know what else is coming? You saw that Chef Trees, who owns Esther's, and also a partner in Asalito Posto restaurant in Tivoli Village. He and Jeff Fine, they're bringing a Asalito Posto into Auric.
Wow.
How about that?
So you wouldn't have to go anywhere
Don't have to go downtown. I mean, you don't have to go to Summerlin to eat. It's going to be right there. It's great food. We have got other restaurants and bars coming in, slated to come in there. So it's a great place to be.
Right.
Imagine go see. You can stay at Auric or at Park Haven. You can go to dinner, a great dinner, and then go right across the park and go see a wonderful world-class show, a Broadway show at the Smith Center.
Sounds like a great night. I like it.
How about that?
All in Ward 5.
All in Ward 5.
Exactly.
I tell you.
And then, Councilman, you posted this on Facebook. You said, "Congratulations, Metro, on the ribbon cutting of the world-class LVMPD reality-based training center." Again, another ribbon cutting for this. Now, tell everybody what this center does, Councilman.
So, and this is located all the way east up Lake Mead, too. And it is a world-class training facility that is going to train our public safety officers in cutting-edge policing. This is one of its kind in the country. It's a $25 million facility. They've got a lot of donations from a lot of private industries and folk that help do this. And it is my understanding that it's going to revolutionize the way that we do policing in our community.
Is it to try to create more realistic scenarios for the officers, more simulations? That
and also a place where you can go if you're a seasoned officer, you can go get retrained on different things. I see people come from all over the country to use this facility, and this is just the first phase of it, and it's great. And it's great that it's located right here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's great, and if it's going to improve the police we have, the police we have here, everybody's for that. So
Yep. And I always say you're never too old to learn.
Exactly.
And so this is going to be that ground zero of learning, cutting edge, future of policing is going to take place there. Very, very happy.
So ribbon cutting there, and yet another ribbon cutting. The new Career Hub Employee NV.
Employee NV,
Yeah,
yes.
now this is right in Ward 5.
It is, and that's right at the historic West Side School, where we have also opened up our Strong Future Technology Center that is training people in the tech fields. That'll be the site for our partnership with our CSN Workforce Center that's going to train people in construction, manufacturing, information technology, as well as the healthcare fields. This is opening up in one of the offices there, a partnership with Workforce Connections. And once again, you know, when I came in office, unemployment's at 15%. I said, we got to do something about it to get unemployment numbers down. Got to get people ready, trained, prepared to go to work. This is the second phase of that because our Strong Future Technology Center is already open, but this is going to get people trained.
That's been a pillar of your time in office, is to get people back to work. You've been working on that, and here we go. This is going to be a big jump forward for a lot of folks.
It is. You know, I'm a firm believer that you give a person a job, you change their life, you change their family's life, and you change our community's lives. I really believe that people want to work. They want to put an honest day's work in, and they want to get an honest day's pay for an honest day's work.
I couldn't agree more.
And this is going to get people prepared to go into those fields. And look, today's workforce is not the yesterday's workforce. Technology is really advancing, so we got to get people trained in those entry-level positions, which are high-paying, provides benefits for their family in those tech fields.
Exactly.
A lot of people are going to get out of their comfort zone. A lot of people, especially after the pandemic, are looking to change fields, looking to go into a whole nother different area than what they've been accustomed to. We're going to help you get there.
Yeah, this is going to be the first step in kind of redirecting where you're headed.
Yes,
so
yes. Very exciting.
And then, Councilman, you're also planting seeds for future ribbon cuttings. You're working on that. One of the things you and I have talked about on this show is, I know a dream of yours is to see a world-class adaptive recreation facility in Ward 5. We're thinking there's some land available maybe in the Decatur or Vegas area.
Decatur, right on Smoke Ranch. You know, it's a prime location. There's an empty lot there. It's surrounded by the football fields. It has Ed Fountain Park there. Muni Golf Course is there, which can all be incorporated into this world-class adaptive services center. The concept is this. We have over 250,000 people in our community that need some form of assistance, and those are adults and children. A great city needs a great adaptive services facility that's going to help those people in need. You know, we're all, I say, one car accident away from being in need ourselves. So how do we find a way to make it easier for the people to provide recreation? Also, there'll be physical therapists there, doctors there. We're looking to have workforce training, because just because you get disabled doesn't mean that you're out of the workforce.
Right, exactly.
Right? You can contribute. And so let's help you and help the community find ways for people to adapt. And so we've gotten approval of some planning dollars. We've gotten some first looks of what that may look like. It's amazing. And we're going to keep pushing to see if we can get this happening.
You and I have talked about that. We've got a great adaptive program in Las Vegas in our Parks and Rec department, but it's at different facilities. There's not a one-stop to go to find all of that. You have to go here for this or there for that.
Yeah.
And the idea here is to bring it all under one roof, right?
No doubt about it. So I can envision having a world-class pool, track. We can incorporate, like I said, the bike park that's there, the fields that are there. It could be a training ground for the Special Olympics. We're talking to the Special Olympics of Nevada, and how do people get qualified? This facility can be a qualification site to go into the Special Olympics. It's endless what it could do. And the crazy thing is that there's such a need for it, right? I don't think haven't really thought about it. I was fortunate that, like you said, at Dula, which is at Ward 5, hosts a wheelchair basketball league that I've been going there for a long time.
Yeah, sure has.
We have the Miracle League baseball field in Ward 5, and I've seen the need there and the work that they do. And so I think it just sort of came to me as I've visited and seen those facilities operate, that why don't we have a one-stop shop for people with needs? And then it turned out that the data showed we have 250,000 people in this community that in some way, shape.
Could use it, yeah.
That could use it. Yeah. So I think it's a necessity. It's not a want. I think it's a necessity that we need for our city.
All right, coming up. We'll stay tuned, as we
yeah,
say.
stay tuned.
So, and then also very exciting, again, stay tuned. You're holding meetings for the Nevada African American Art and Culture Museum. This would be a museum really recognizing the historic West Side and its contribution to Las Vegas.
You know, it is. Las Vegas would be a portion of it, but also Nevada, and then also nationally. Yeah. The concept, and we're still on a very preliminary stage, we hosted community meetings, and if there was a thought and if there was a want to have that museum located in the historic West Side, we've had a number of meetings. We have some great consultants that have built museums around and run museums around the country. The general consensus is that yes, we would love to see Nevada Museum of Art and Culture, African American Museum of Art and Culture, and yes, we would love to see it located within Ward 5. So we have gotten over that first phase. We're going to go back, look and see about doing some planning of what that may look like, putting a number to that, deciding on a potential location where it may be. We're a long ways away, but we've made some great strides into potentially doing this.
Well, good turnout at those meetings.
Huge
wow.
turnout,
wow.
Huge turnout, and it shows you that the community does want something like this. And it's good to stress the fact that it's not just historic West Side, but also Las Vegas. It's the contribution of the state and also contribution from around the country. What better place to have it than in Las Vegas? And what better place to put it would be than in the historic West Side in Ward 5.
So this is really preliminary. We're just getting started.
Yeah.
People have thoughts. Contact the councilman.
Yep.
He's all ears as far as what should be there and how it should be recognized, et cetera.
Yeah,
so.
and people kind of wanted to go into that. Well, what's going to be there? Well, we aren't quite there. Where's it going to go?
Yeah.
We're not quite there yet.
Right.
Let's just figure out if we want it, and then we'll dive into what that may look like. Because our community has a rich history. Our state has a rich history. There are others that have established some type of memorial museum. How do we incorporate that into what we're doing? We can have more than one museum in a community, especially a community that's growing and has so much to say. And so we're going to work through all that.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It is exciting.
And it's a blank slate that we're going to fill in here. So.
Yeah, I always say that Las Vegas is young enough for not just in the historic West Side or Ward 5, but the city is young enough where we're literally taking a pen and a piece of paper and charting the course of where we want to go.
So true.
So many cities are been doing this for hundreds of years. They're entrenched. It's hard to make changes. We can move
we're pretty nimble. Yeah,
we are very nimble.
We're new.
We're going to start off cutting edge.
Exactly,
which is great.
Well, speaking of cutting edge, I like this too. The first annual Young Men of Color event took place involving UNLV, and they were kind of the organizers of it, right?
Yeah, well, UNLV, we hosted it in their ballroom at their student union. The City of Las Vegas, our Social Youth and Innovation team, I have to give a lot of credit to them. They did a great job organizing this, bringing in partners, as you can see, from UNLV to the school district, to Metro, to fire safety, to other nonprofit organizations that came out and spoke. President Whitfield, who's the president of UNLV, spoke. Chef Jeff gave an amazing testimony to the kids, to the young men, Congressman Horsford, Superintendent Hara, myself. And it was a great day of just knowledge sharing with a bunch of young men that, mentoring makes a difference.
Yep.
It makes a difference to see them in a room with positive folk who have gone through, like I told them, I'm really no different than you. As a young man, I came out to UNLV and went through mentoring processes out of there and went through summer programs at UNLV just like you did. And if you look at what I've done and in the path that I've taken, there's no reason why you couldn't do the same thing.
That's great.
Or even chart your own path.
Yeah.
Right? But you can see that you can do it, and you don't have to be born in New York City or Los Angeles to go out and conquer the world in these big cities. You can do it here right in Las Vegas, and you can come from our community and go do whatever you want to do in life.
Yeah, well, that's great, Councilman, because I know that those young men would really look up to you. And, President Whitfield and others that are there to serve as those role models.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, it's very great. Then there was workshops that took place, and I participated in a workshop with a friend of mine who works at CSN, Sean Torrey, and I actually sat in the circle with everybody, and I actually gave my testimony, just like these other kids are giving their testimony, and it was really, 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 sort of gut-wrenching stuff, because one of the things is you have to open yourself up. You have to have a willingness to be vulnerable. And if I'm willing to be vulnerable in that circle, then hopefully they're willing to be vulnerable. And we're all looking for a common goal to try to make ourselves better as we walked out of that room.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be doing it in the future, maybe?
We will. Yeah. And I would love to see a conference of women, young women as well. So hopefully we can move forward with that, as well as with the young men. And it's a young men of color, but there were all nationalities, all colors that were at this event. And I think that's another thing. It brought a lot of people together.
That's great. That's the idea.
Yes,
so.
It is. It is.
Very good. And then, Councilman, you have to talk about this since you've been on the show. Well, we had an anniversary that's always hard every year. You posted this on Facebook. You said, tonight, City of Las Vegas honored the 58 fallen from the Route 91 Harvest Festival concert by calling each name and lighting a candle at the Las Vegas Community Healing Garden. And you were out there that night, as was I. And it's always tough because so many of the family members of those who we lost come back, and they come back every year, and I think their grief still is as pronounced as it was back 4 years ago.
I agree. You and the mayor did an amazing job of your steadfast dedication towards the healing garden, towards memorializing those that we lost. I know from talking to the families that were there, they really appreciate that. And I always say this too, whether you had a direct family member that was hurt or that was killed, we all have been affected by this to a certain extent.
So true.
Right? We all have a memory of where we were. We all know how we felt that day, the days after, how the community rallied together to provide assistance to those in need. This is a great time to recognize it. Hopefully we can continue to do it annually, to see how the healing garden has expanded and grown so much is also amazing to see, because that was put together in a couple of days?
Yeah, just a few days.
A few days after the
shooting was on a Sunday night, and we dedicated it on the following Friday.
Yeah, so. And to see where it was to where it is, I give kudos to the mayor, to council, for just adapting quickly to make that happen.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been down there, I urge you to go down and take a look, to spend some time at that memorial garden. It really is beautiful. It's a perfect day, perfect week to go out and just sit and reflect, not only just on 1 October and the Harvest Festival, but also on life in general. It's a great place to go to sort of take a moment to reflect on life.
Couldn't agree more. It's the corner basically of Charleston Casino Center, and it's a special place.
It is. So take a moment. Go take a look.
Sounds good. Councilman, I love this too. You posted this on Facebook. You said, it's been great to represent the residents and the city of Las Vegas this week in Washington, D.C. at the Vegas Chamber LVGEA DC Fly-In.
Yes.
And you have to tell everybody what a fly-in is.
So this is my third time going. Last year they did it virtually. The Vegas Chamber of Commerce, Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance, LVGEA, come together to bring leaders, elected business leaders, like you see Shondell Newsom there, members of the chambers that are there, a wide variety of just community members to come to Washington, D.C., spend a week there. We meet with our congressional delegation. They come out and give us updates of what's going on. They also brought in other congresspersons to come out and to participate and let us know what's happening. But one of the key things is that you get a chance to fellowship with some of these people that you may or may not know. And then it breaks down that barrier once again of, I'm an elected official, you are in charge of a nonprofit. And sometimes people can be very intimidated coming down to City Hall, all right? Let's just call it like it is, and they come in your office and they have projects, and it could be a very intimidating process. So how do you break that down? How do you come in and say, I'm not Councilman, I'm Cedric. Let's talk about what you have going on. How can we work together to make our community better? And that is really the key of that week in DC. We fly in, we do a lot of business, but also a lot of fellowship. Which is important.
Creating those relationships. It makes a huge difference.
It does. It does. And you meet a wide variety of people, and which is great. And I urge, if you're a business owner or if you are a person that wants to be more engaged in the community, it's a great opportunity to really get down into the grassroots of what's going on in our community.
Make those connections.
And
case in point that it works, the city received a $1.7 million grant as a result of those relationships, right?
That, and I happened to be in, like I said, that different speakers come out. I happened to be in the room when the announcement was made by the Assistant U.S. Secretary of Commerce, Secretary Castillo, and she was there presenting. She literally she talked about it. She talked about the EDA grant. She's also responsible for our $6.9 million EDA grant we received with CSN for our Workforce Center. That's there. Our representative, John Edmonds, who lives in Las Vegas, he's a regional director for the EDA. But to be in the room when she made that announcement and then to go up to her and actually speak with her, it solidified the fact that they made a good decision. And I was able to reiterate that where she's making this investment, there's a need. We will be responsible with those dollars, and we're going to help a lot of people.
And where will that go, Councilman?
So the $1.7 million connectivity grant is going to be hit in Ward 5, Ward 3, and Ward 1, and that's going to help us connect Wi-Fi throughout the city, which is very, very needed, obviously. It is. And obviously, you know that, especially with the COVID and lockdown and people doing remote learning, that became a glaring issue in our community. Where we're doing something about it.
Very good. That's great. And then, Councilman, on a different level, I love this too. You posted this on Facebook. You said, "Thank you, Raiders, for the uniforms and flags for our West Side Schools Flag Football League." And this is really cool because look at these kids. And
one of the great pictures is a picture of the kids giving each other, shaking their hands after the game. This is a free league that's been created. You can come down and sign up. Any information you need, you can call my office and find out what's going on. But it's a free league, and you can see that kids are coming out. They're enjoying themselves. The Raiders provided the uniforms and the flags. That's great. It's really, really cool for them to come out and have an opportunity to express themselves, and then also get out some of that pent-up energy that they have inside of them.
A lot of fun to get out and play football and look good doing it too. So,
it is. It looks like me when I was a kid out there playing, So it's cool. It's cool to reflect back on it. A lot of fun. Thank you, Raiders.
Yeah, thank you, Raiders, very much. And then, speaking of charitable things, you were part of the Shaquille O'Neal Foundation charitable event, raised about $3 million. But the thing I was impressed with, Councilman, is who you were hanging with that night. Let me see. You got Shaq there, of course, Shaquille O'Neal, but then you got Justin Bieber, Imagine Dragons, Kelly Clarkson, Snoop Dogg, and Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
And you.
And me. Exactly.
Cool.
My wife, my beautiful wife is there. We went to the event. We were asked to come out and be the host of the live auction portion.
Yeah.
I've never done that before. Dustin Yellen, world-class artist. Christian Colberg, as everybody knows,
good friend.
who's a great guy, auctioneer, Shaq, obviously. But the purpose of the event was to raise money for the Shaquille O'Neal Foundation, which is giving dollars to support underserved communities and also kids in Atlanta as well as in Las Vegas. Shaq's a resident here. He's here all the time. We've already started working with him on this event through a $250,000 grant from Icy Hot, which we're repurposing the basketball courts at Doolittle and outside. We're going to have our ribbon cutting later on this month. Shaquille is going to be there. He's very engaged, and we're going to repurpose those courts and turn them into sort of short courts that Shaquille O'Neal, we're hoping, will host an event or two throughout the course of a year. I believe that these courts are so cool. The design is so cool. It's going to bring basketball right into the historic West Side.
Because we got it wired for sound, for TV.
There's 1,000 seats out of there. There's shade structures. We're going to host events there throughout the course of the year. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I can see people coming from all over the city to play on those shack courts. You and I got to go play.
Yeah, exactly. Get out there and hit a few. 3-on-3, we'll take on anybody. Bring it on.
So it's great. Thank you. I have to say thank you to Shaquille ONeal for all that he's doing. Perry Rogers, who heads up the Shaquille ONeal Foundation, works with them. Great. And I just want to thank them for thinking of our community.
Yeah. And $3 million goes a long way.
Yeah.
It sure does. So, well, congratulations to everybody on that. And I love this too, Councilman. A little smaller scale, but still impactful. You posted this on Facebook. You said, congratulations, Gassan and the La Faverita Market team on rehabbing a beautiful store. Now, this store goes back a long way, but it's got a brand new look.
It does. So when I was a kid, this store was Brothers Market. A lot of people know it on the corner of Rancho in Washington. And we used to go to Brothers all the time to just a little local market. It's been a lot of different things, but I have to give a lot of credit to Gassan. He repurposed this facility. It is really, really, really nice. The way that he did it is laid out great. It's beautiful. It's very clean. It's just great. And so,
welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah, welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
They really did it right. La Faverita. There's another one throughout the city, but I tell you, they really, really did a good job. I was impressed when I walked in. I don't know what my expectations were, not that they were any lesser, but they exceeded my expectations.
It's great. Which is you were thinking of, from back in the day, probably.
Yeah. And Brothers Market was an old market. It was just mom and pop, and you walked up there, and you literally walked up the Brothers, and you went there, and you got what you needed, and walked back home.
Well, it's got a whole new life now.
It is, and I urge you guys to support it because he's a really, really good guy. Number one, his staff are great, and the market is great.
Sounds good.
Mercado.
Sounds good. And then Councilman loved this too. He had a block party. This took place at Miller in Lexington back on September 18th. This is a big deal because this involved the Las Vegas My Brother's Keeper Alliance, the Strong Future Youth Employment Program, and the Historic West Side School Team all worked together to co-sponsor this event.
Yeah, it was great. The community came out. We had a beautiful mural that was created. It was great. They did it right. That mural right there is a wall of a resident. They got the permission of the resident to do that, and it was great. We're going to have more and more block parties that are going to come out to the community just to find ways to be more engaging, to bring the community together.
It makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does make a difference. And once again, it breaks down that barriers. Metro was there, fire was there, and just break down that barrier.
We're all people.
Between city, government, neighborhood.
Yep.
Come out and meet your neighbor, talk to your neighbors, and let's do great things within our community.
Yeah, sounds great. Those are great
they
things. And so, well, Councilman, the show always goes quickly when you're
done?
on, because we have a lot to talk about here. But hey, we want to tell everybody out there, hey, we always want to hear from you. So if there's something you'd like to share with Councilman Crear, you can find him on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also contact the councilman just by picking up the phone. We still do that, 702-229-6405. Or you can send him an email. His address is ccrear@lasvegasnevada.gov, and hear one of his great staff get right back to you. So, well, Councilman, always a pleasure. Great job, man. We had a lot of topics to discuss. So next month or next time, 6 weeks from now, it's going to be even fuller, I have a hunch.
Yep. We'll recap our forum from tonight and a lot of other things we have going on.
Yeah.
Ribbon cutting for the shack courts.
Yeah.
There's just always something going on in Ward 5.
It's exciting stuff.
All right.
Looking forward to it, and good to have you on the show. And folks, don't miss our next show beginning on October 21st with Ward 6 Councilwoman Michelle Fiore. You can catch all of our KCLV shows on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. Also, look for our QR code at the end of this show to subscribe to our newsletter. And don't forget, you can also watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next time around.